The night over Outpost Hale was quiet in the way only distant frontier worlds could be. The stars were sharp and cold, hanging low over the domed settlement like watchful eyes. Most of the lights were dimmed. Power was expensive here, and sleep came early to people who worked long days keeping the outpost alive. Inside one of the smaller habitat units, Elias Rowe slept lightly. He was a systems engineer, not a soldier, but years on the edge of human space had taught him that deep sleep was a luxury. The walls around him hummed softly as the life support system recycled air. Outside, the wind dragged fine dust across the metal plating. Then something hit the window. It was not loud at first, just a dull, scraping sound like metal dragged across glass. Elias' eyes opened at once. His hand moved toward the emergency light switch beside the bed. The window was rated for storms and debris. Nothing living should have been out there. The scraping came again, harder this time. Before Elias could react, the reinforced window cracked inward with a sharp snap. Emergency seals activated too slowly. The frame bent, and then the whole panel gave way. Cold night air rushed into the room as a figure tumbled inside, landing heavily on the floor. Alarm screamed. Elias rolled out of bed, heart pounding. He grabbed the nearest tool, a shock baton from the wall rack, and pointed it at the intruder. The figure moved, struggling to push herself upright. Moonlight spilled through the broken window, revealing smooth skin with a faint blue tone and limbs longer than any human's. She was alien. Her armor was half melted, fused to her body in places, smoking faintly as if it had been exposed to something corrosive. She made a sharp sound that might have been pain, then began pulling at the damaged plates with shaking hands. The metal came away in pieces, clattering to the floor. "Stop," Elias said, his voice tight. "Don't move." She looked at him. Her eyes were large and dark, reflecting the emergency lights. There was fear there, but also urgency. She spoke in a rough version of trade common, each word forced out between breaths. "Armor burning," she said. "Must remove now." She tore the last of the ruined armor free and let it fall. Elias froze, confused, unsure what to do. He was aware of her being unclothed, but the situation was too strange, too dangerous for embarrassment. Her skin was marked with glowing lines that pulsed weakly, like dying embers. She staggered toward the bed and collapsed onto it, clearly fighting to stay conscious. With one arm, she shoved at him. "Move over," she said. "Hide, they are coming." As if to prove her point, the external alarms shifted tone. This was not a hull breach warning anymore. It was an alert Elias had never heard before, sharp and rising, meant to wake the entire outpost. Elias hesitated for half a second. Then training, basic, civilian, but drilled into every frontier worker, took over. He shut the shattered window's emergency shutter, sealing the opening. The room grew warmer again, but the damage was done. Sensors would already be reporting the breach. He stepped back toward the bed, mind racing. Whoever she was, she had chosen his room for a reason. And whoever they were powerful enough to chase her through the sky. He lay down beside her, pulling the emergency thermal blanket over both of them just as heavy footsteps echoed outside. Searchlights swept across the outer wall. The sound of engines hovered overhead, low and threatening. Elias held his breath. The alien woman pressed herself closer, her breathing uneven. She was burning with fever. A voice boomed outside in a language Elias did not recognize. Then another voice answered, deeper, mechanical. "They are scanning," she whispered. "If they find me, your people will suffer." Elias swallowed. He had no idea if that was true, but fear for the outpost clenched his chest. Hale was small. Families lived here. Children. If harboring her brought destruction, a sharp knock rattled the door. "Outpost security," a human voice called. "Elias Rowe, open up." Elias' pulse hammered in his ears. The alien's hand tightened around his wrist, her grip surprisingly strong despite her condition. She shook her head slightly. "Please," she said, not as an order this time, but a plea. Elias took a breath and sat up. He slipped out from under the blanket and walked to the door, trying to steady himself. When he opened it, two security officers stood there, weapons lowered but ready. "Your window triggered a breach alert," one said. "We picked up unidentified movement near your unit. Are you alone?" Elias forced himself to meet the officer's eyes. Lying came hard to him, but the image of the injured alien on his bed would not leave his mind. "No," he said. "I mean, yes, I'm alone. The window failed, probably micro-debris." The officers exchanged a look. Behind them, Elias could see shapes moving in the sky, sleek and unfamiliar, nothing like human craft. "Stay inside," the officer said slowly. "Do not open your door again unless ordered." They turned and left, boots echoing down the corridor. Elias closed the door and leaned against it, legs weak. He stayed there for several seconds, listening. Only when the footsteps faded did he return to the bed. The alien's eyes were half closed. Her skin had gone paler, the glowing lines dimmer. "You should not have lied," she said faintly. "Now you are involved." Elias sat on the edge of the bed. "You broke into my room," he said. "I think that ship sailed." A weak sound escaped her that might have been a laugh. She tried to sit up and failed. Elias reached out without thinking, steadying her. Her skin was hot to the touch. "You're hurt badly," he said. "If I don't get help—" "No," she said quickly. "Human medics will report me. They do not know how to treat my kind anyway." "That's not true," Elias said, though he was not sure. "We try." She studied him as if measuring something. Finally, she nodded once. "Then try," she said. "If I die, at least it will be here." Elias activated his medical kit. It was basic, designed for humans, but adaptable. He scanned her vitals, the display filled with warning symbols, most of which he did not understand. "Your blood chemistry is all wrong," he muttered. She watched him with heavy-lidded eyes. "Your species adapts quickly," she said. "That is why they fear you." "Who fears us?" Elias asked. She did not answer. Instead, her gaze shifted to the ceiling as the distant engines grew louder. Outside, the night over Outpost Hale was no longer quiet. Something was unfolding in the dark, something far larger than one broken window or one frightened engineer. And it had begun with a stranger climbing through the glass, shedding burning armor, and asking him to make room, not just on his bed but in his world. The engines outside did not leave. They circled the outpost like patient predators, slow and careful. Their shadows passed again and again over the walls, blocking the starlight. Inside the small habitat room, Elias worked in silence, focused on the glowing medical display and the alien woman lying on his bed. Her breathing was shallow now. Each rise of her chest looked like it took effort. The glowing lines under her skin flickered, sometimes bright, sometimes nearly gone. Elias adjusted the scanner, trying different settings, translating alien readings into something he could understand. "Your armor," he said quietly. "What damaged it?" She opened her eyes. "Weapon residue," she replied. "Used to trap, not kill. It eats technology first, then flesh." Elias frowned. "Then removing it saved you." "Yes," she said, "but too late. Much entered my body." He injected a mild human antitoxin, diluted and slow. It was risky, but doing nothing would be worse. The scanner reacted at once, warning lights flashing, then slowly settling. "That helped," she said, surprised. Elias let out a breath he did not know he was holding. "Human medicine isn't elegant," he said, "but it's flexible." She studied him again, that same thoughtful look. "You are not a healer by training." "I fix machines," he said. "Life support, power grids, things break, I keep them running." Her lips curved slightly. "Then you are exactly what I needed." A loud pulse shook the building. Elias nearly dropped the injector. The lights flickered, then stabilized. "What was that?" he asked. "Scanning wave," she said. "They are searching for my energy signature." Elias moved to the broken window and checked the emergency seal. It was holding, but barely. The outside wall glowed faintly where scanners passed over it. "They'll find you," he said. Sooner or later. Yes, she replied, unless something changes. Elias turned back to her. Then tell me who you are and who is hunting you. For a long moment she said nothing. Then slowly she pushed herself upright, leaning against the wall. Elias moved to help, but she waved him off. My name does not translate well, she said. But among your language I would be called a strategist. I plan wars before they happen. Elias stared. You're military. Yes, she said, but not as you understand it. I do not fight, I decide who must. And they shot you down, she shook her head. Not them, others. A coalition that believes my species has grown too influential. And us? Elias asked. Where do humans fit in? Her eyes met his. You are the question. Before Elias could ask more, his door chimed again. This time the sound was sharper, more urgent. Elias Rowe, came a new voice, calm but firm. This is Commander Hale of Outpost Security. Open the door. Elia's stomach tightened. The alien closed her eyes as if listening to something far away. They know, she said softly, or they suspect. Elias walked to the door, every step heavy. He opened it. Commander Hale stood there with two guards, weapons still lowered but hands close to the triggers. You reported a window failure, Hale said, but our sensors show something else. A foreign energy spike. Care to explain? Elias hesitated. He could lie again. But the alien's words echoed in his mind. Humans adapt quickly. That is why they fear you. There's someone inside, Elias said finally. She's injured, not hostile. The guard stiffened. Hale's eyes sharpened. Step aside, Hale said. Elias did not move. His heart raced, but his voice stayed steady. If you hand her over, those ships won't leave. They'll take her, then decide what to do with us. That's speculation, Hale said. Is it? Elias asked. Those aren't human ships. And they haven't contacted us. They're acting like we don't matter. Silence stretched between them. Behind Elias, the alien spoke, her voice weak but clear. He is correct. All weapons snapped up at once. Lower them, Hale said sharply, though his own hand trembled slightly. He stepped past Elias into the room. The alien woman sat upright now, the blanket wrapped around her shoulders. Even injured, she carried an air of authority that filled the small space. I will not fight you, she said, but I will not surrender to them. Hale studied her. You're the reason those ships are here. Yes, and if we protect you, they will test you, she said. Push boundaries, measure your response. Hale exhaled slowly. That's a lot to put on a frontier outpost. Elias spoke before he could stop himself. They're already testing us. Another pulse hit the settlement. This one was stronger. Outside, warning sirens wailed as systems strained. Hale turned to the guards. Seal the perimeter. Scramble comms to Central Command. Full priority. The guards hesitated only a second, then moved. Hale looked back at the alien. If we do this, there's no going back. She inclined her head. There never is. Minutes later, the outpost changed. Defensive turrets rose from hidden ports. Shields flared to life, thin but determined. Human ships, small, underpowered compared to the ones above, launched from the hangar and formed a tight formation over Hale. Elias stood beside the alien as the room vibrated with activity. You just put us in the middle of something big, he said. You were already there, she replied. You simply did not know it yet. Outside, one of the alien ships finally spoke. A transmission blasted across all channels, untranslated, sharp and demanding. The alien closed her eyes, listening, then opened them. They are ordering you to stand down, she said. They say this does not concern you. Elias laughed once, short and humorless. That figures. Another transmission came through, this one translated by the outpost AI. Surrender the asset. Noncompliance will result in corrective action. Hale's voice echoed through the settlement. This is human outpost Hale. We do not surrender injured guests. Leave our space. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the sky lit up. Energy beams struck the shields, not full power, but enough to make a point. The shields held barely. Systems screamed, considering overloads. Elias felt fear twist in his gut. "We can't win this," he said quietly. The alien looked at the flickering lights, then at him. "Winning is not always about force," she said. "Sometimes it is about refusal." She reached out and placed her hand over his. Her skin was cooler now. "By sheltering me," she continued, "you have shown them something they did not expect." "What's that?" Elias asked. "That humans will step between power and its target," she said, "even when afraid." Outside, the attacking ships paused. Another message came through, hesitant now, uncertain. Hale turned to Elias. "Central Command is responding. They want details, everything." Elias nodded, his eyes still on the alien. "Tell them the truth." As the night stretched on, the balance shifted, not because humans were stronger but because they refused to move aside. And somewhere above Outpost Hale, an entire galaxy began to reconsider what kind of species humanity truly was. Dawn came slowly to Outpost Hale, but the night did not loosen its grip easily. The sky above the settlement was crowded with unfamiliar ships, their dark shapes hanging like unanswered questions. The human shield still shimmered, thin and strained, but holding. Inside the command center, voices overlapped as officers spoke to Central Command. Engineers fought overheating systems, and medics stood ready for casualties that had not yet come. Elias stood near the back of the room, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the main display. The alien woman stood beside him now, supported by a medical brace and wrapped in a simple human jacket. She was steadier on her feet, though still weak. The human treatment had slowed the damage inside her, not cured it, but it had given her time. Time, it seemed, was everything. Another transmission arrived from the alien ships. This one was different, slower, careful. The outpost AI translated it aloud. "Human authorities, you are advised to reconsider your position. The individual you shelter is designated as a destabilizing element. Continued protection will result in long-term consequences." Commander Hale stepped forward, his face tired but firm. "We have reconsidered," he said. "Our position stands." Silence followed. Long enough for Elias to feel the weight of it press down on his chest. "They are debating," the alien said quietly. "Not whether to attack, but whether you are worth the cost." "That's comforting," Elias muttered. She glanced at him. "It should be." Yesterday they would not have hesitated. Before anyone could respond, a new signal appeared on the display, not from the ships above but from deep space. The signal carried codes Elias did not recognize, but the room reacted instantly. Officers straightened. The AI flagged it as priority human command. Central Command's emblem filled the screen. "Outpost Hale," came a calm, steady voice. "This is Fleet Command. We are aware of your situation." A quiet relief spread through the room. "We are dispatching diplomatic and defensive assets," the voice continued. "Estimated arrival 46 minutes. The alien ships reacted at once. Their formations shifted, spreading out, engines flaring. "They do not want witnesses," the alien said. "No," Hale replied. "They don't." The first shot came without warning. This time it was full power. The human shields flared bright white, then shattered. Energy slammed into the outer defenses. Buildings shook. Somewhere in the outpost, metal screamed and gave way. Alarms howled as systems failed one by one. "Evacuate lower sectors," Hale shouted. "All hands brace." Elias was thrown to the floor as the command center lurched. He felt hands grab his arms and pull him up. The alien stood nearby, gripping a console, her jaw set. "They are forcing a decision," she said. "They believe you will surrender me to save yourselves." Elias wiped blood from his brow. "They don't know humans very well." Another strike preserving minimal compliance. Fires broke out in the outer ring. Medical teams rushed through smoke-filled corridors. Still, no humans fired back. The turrets remained silent. The alien ships paused again, confused. "They are waiting," the alien said. "Waiting for fear to break you." Instead, Hale opened a channel. "This is Commander Hale of Outpost Hale," he said, his voice broadcast to every ship above and every listening post beyond. "We are damaged, we are outmatched, but we will not comply." Elias watched the alien's expression change. Something like awe crossed her features. "You should leave," Hale continued. "Now, any further attack will be recorded and shared with every human world. Your actions will be judged." The response came quickly, sharp with anger. "You are not a power worth fearing." Hale did not hesitate. "Maybe not," he said. "But we are a people worth remembering." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then one of the alien ships broke formation. It did not fire. Instead, it turned away. A second followed. Then a third. Confusion rippled through the remaining fleet. Signals passed between them, frantic and overlapping. The largest ship lingered, its weapons still charged. The alien woman closed her eyes. "They are divided," she said. "Some believe you are too dangerous to provoke. Others still want me." The largest ship sent one final message. "This is not over." Then it, too, pulled back. The sky above Outpost Hale slowly cleared. The engines faded into the distance, leaving behind damaged buildings, wounded people, and a silence that felt unreal. Elias sank into a chair, legs shaking. Around him, people stared at the screens, some laughing softly, others crying in relief. Hale turned to the alien woman. "You're safe," he said. "For now." She nodded. "And so are you, because you chose not to move." In the days that followed, the story spread. Human fleets arrived, not with weapons blazing, but with diplomats, engineers, and relief ships. Outpost Hale became the center of attention it had never wanted. Analysts replayed the recordings again and again, studying the moment humans had refused to surrender, even when it made no tactical sense. The alien woman recovered slowly. Human medicine, combined with careful adjustments she guided them through, stabilized her condition. She spent hours speaking with human leaders, explaining the political landscape of the galaxy, the quiet wars fought with pressure and fear instead of fleets. "They thought you were easy," she told Elias one evening as they stood by the repaired window. "Small, divided, focused only on survival." "And now?" Elias asked. "And now they are uncertain," she said. "Uncertainty is powerful." Central Command offered her asylum. More than that, they offered partnership, not as a weapon but as a voice. She accepted. Her presence among humans sent ripples outward. Species that had watched silently began reaching out, curious, cautious, hopeful. Humanity, once overlooked, became something else entirely. A line. A line some powers would not cross lightly again. On the day she was set to leave Outpost Hale for Earth, Elias walked her to the transport. She looked stronger now, standing tall, her eyes clear. "You changed my calculations," she said. "I didn't do much," Elias replied. "I just didn't shut the door," she smiled. "Sometimes that is enough." She paused, then added, "When I told you to move over that night, it was not only for space." "I figured," Elias said. The transport doors closed. The ship lifted into the sky, joining a formation of human escorts. Elias watched until it vanished among the stars. Behind him, Outpost Hale buzzed with new life. Repairs continued. Children played under open skies again. People talked about the future, not just the next supply run. Elias turned away from the window and went back to work. Systems needed fixing. Life needed maintaining. But now, when he looked up at the stars, he knew something important had changed. Humanity had made room, and the galaxy had noticed.